kind of, just kind of missed a thing here, and then we took some self-induced sacks, I call them sometimes, where it was like he had some chances to go and he kind of ran into his own guy a little bit, and then we got a play action sack, and then maybe missed a throw here or there, or maybe made a bad RPO decision or whatever it was. So you don't know. I look back, I'm like, did we have too much in? I always think about that first. I'm like, did we have too many things in or anything? How much was new? And there really wasn't that much new. Maybe some formational stuff. So kind of keep working through all that. So I kind of put on myself going, I gotta do something. Was he trying too hard and pressing Jalen? Potentially. It happens sometimes in moments like that, but still I gotta do a better job trying to get him back if that does happen. I felt good about the second quarter. I'm like, I think we got this thing kind of under control. We made some great scrambles. Daniel was running like really hard. And then I got to the third quarter, and we were, like I told somebody, I said people talk about like, oh, you're out of sync and all this stuff. I'm like, we had a 19-play drive, which is crazy. I kind of felt like got back into it. Kind of, okay, here we go. And the first 6 games, I think, of the year, we scored every time in this third quarter, I think. And the last 2 we haven't. And those are kind of needed in that moment. We come out and we just missed E-Man for crazy thing about football is, like any sport, first third down, we call a play where I knew they were going to jump the tight end, so you're hoping to get backside. And he got right backside to E-Man and just missed that throw. E-Man catches a 60-yard touchdown. Now we're tied. We're probably not having this discussion. And we just missed it. I was going to go down and score, and then we turned the ball over, which is that's what struggled. That's what the problem. A turnover, a sack, fumble, that dropped a snap. That's the kind of stuff that I don't know. So you kind of look back and go, maybe I don't know, was it too much? Whatever it was, we got to try to do. So I think maybe a little bit of different things. I didn't think it was going to affect them, and it did. You never know, unfortunately, until sometimes you see it out there. It goes. But I'll take full responsibility if that's me. In syncness, I'm like, out of syncness, I'm like, gosh, I felt like I got kind of back into it.
Do you feel like you've learned anything across these last 2 games about your offense?
I'm learning we're resilient, but then we can't, resilient off the bat. We got kind of punched in the last, or how you want to say it, kind of got punched in the face the last two games off the bat. And all of a sudden we fight back and we're resilient. I know we scored early in this game, a little different deal, but we still got it behind 21-7 and had that long 9-minute drive. And then, so I've learned, hey, we are resilient. We got fight in us. But then the second, I hate how you say it, it's like the second time we unfortunately aren't carrying that into the third, keep that momentum going. We go back into all of a sudden we get down behind again, then we can't climb that mountain again. So that's what I'm learning. I'm learning that I love our resiliency. I just got to do a better job, calling plays, a better job, getting those guys to ride that wave a little longer and get us past that third quarter. Make sense? It's so weird to say, I'm like, gosh, we fight. And we're talking like, I think it's deflating a little bit where you fight back and then all of a sudden you get back down. Like we got to get back in, now stay in it and keep scoring. That's why I think the third quarter has been critical.
Having a kicker as good as length has been this season, how does that kind of calculate in your play calling and the way you go about things when, you're in that, basically midfield area?
Well, it's unique now. It's different now because like last year, we're in field goal range, right? Mm-hmm. So in the back of your mind, like, hey, as long as we stay, it helps you just knowing as long as I stay forward, as long as we continue with the rule of 0, which we're struggling with right now, we can stay where we're at. The worst thing we're going to get points. That's really that's a comfortable thing, especially when you're maybe in a bad position. Like we got some bad ones, but we got back into, hey, can we get 8 to 10 yards? Or knowing like, hey, if I can get, we're in 3rd and 20, so can we get 6 or 8 of these yards back and maybe not get a first down, but can we give him a chance? I mean, that's what's been really good. He's been awesome. He's a great kid too, man. But he is unbelievable right now. Keep that thing rolling, knock on wood. It's been a blast.
How prepared are these young tight ends to get more playing time?
Hopefully a lot, because it's coming. No, I'm joking. They're playing good. I think the way we practice, like I always tell you, is the way that has helped those guys. It helped Isaiah, it helps Cole. If something ever happens to JD, those guys are ready to go. Tight end the same way. We huddle so many things in practice throughout camp. And then even now we rotate kids so many times, those kids are ready to go. So you see it's coming. It's like, well, you never know. Just like you never know when the next receiver's got to step up. So I think all our guys positionally are tight end. Now you just seen our tight end. You saw Leighton more obviously, and Jane stuck in there a little bit, and you keep working him through it because I think they get some. They're not stunned by the moment because they've had a lot of reps in them, so they're ready to go. So it's fun. I enjoy. You're disappointed with injuries or whatever happens, but you're excited about the next kid. See what he does when he steps up.
I've been through so much with Jalen that you kind of know how he's going to react probably to most everything.
Yeah.
He put a lot on himself like he always does
Yeah.
after that one. What is your process in game especially when he's off a little inaccurate like he is to just get him back, keep him going?
No, it's a
keep him
good
in
point. It was easier, not easier. It was different when I was on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can, this is talking to any situation you have been in, being able to see a kid like in his eyes is a lot, or seeing whoever you talk to, you kind of feel it. So I don't get much feel. Eric's done a good job, Coach T has done a good job. Is he okay? I'll say something. Hey, chill. Hey, focus, refocus. Hey, don't need that. We're good. Don't do too much. Just stay in the, rule of zero, rules. Try to stay positive all the time. And I'll go, hey, is he okay? Like, how's he looking? I miss the looking part. I don't get to see that till halftime. Just the eyes. Sometimes it's Jason the same way. Sometimes you got to see the eyes and go, okay, good, or like, ooh, all right, let's do this. What do we got to do, and so on. So I think that's what's been good with Eric, knowing him so well, taking a lot of time having him around has been good. But a lot of times it's just a talk with him, and then me just saying, "You good, man?" And he'll see him nod, or like, "Hey, just take it. Hey, next play, next focus, refocus a little bit." But and like I said, it's been good for the most part. This one just wasn't as couldn't get back into it for whatever reason.
Does not being able to see that make you think about going back down on the field?
No, it does. If in a perfect world, you'd love to have both. It's just, I just think, I am so impressed watching NFL, this the college too, with NFL guys who can call it from the sideline with that novice, and they've done it for years, but it's really impressive. Because being able to have to, now I know there's using wristbands more than they probably have in the past too, but being able to have that sheet right in front of you and like have all these, I have all these things going, contraptions going on, whereas it's easier to kind of be, hey, I can see it, hey, here you go, wristband 36 or whatever. So that makes me, I'll always miss it just because I'm kind of the personality of getting next to those guys to talk to them. But for us for me to have any chance to call a decent game or a great game, I got to be in the box.
How do you build out or layer kind of your offense over the course of a season where a run in week 2 becomes play action in week 4, becomes a screen in week 6, becomes a deep shot in week 8, and where are you guys kind of at in that process?
In terms of play wide,
in terms of like building out the playbook and everything over the course of the season.
We're good. Now, the thing is, we'd had so much. The time you have now is summertime, springtime help. You get more time, I think. So they kind of build up pretty quick. And the way camp is now, you have practice and you have a walk. I think you get more in than you ever got. And sometimes the hardest part is going back to make sure you didn't forget stuff to put it back in, and then see if anything jumps up. So I think in the process of that, I feel good. Now we just build up what we see. Sometimes, hey, that formation's been used mine, let's do this now. Let's do that. So I think we're in a really good spot with that. I'm excited about that part.
Hey, Jim, Jalen said after the game that K-State showed things they really hadn't showed, or he maybe was even a little confused. Did you guys talk about that, or did you see that?
No, what they did a little bit, they showed a little less. They didn't pressure as much as I thought they would. When they did do some pressure, they did a good job with it. It wasn't like a unique deal. The one they got hit, the one pressure wasn't near. They did a good job twisting really quick. On that 1 4th down, we had a chance. Even I was going to be open. They did a little different twist to them, but coverage-wise, they didn't. They played a little more off and soft, or catch technique a little bit more than they had shown. Where I thought maybe potentially a little bit more man. And like I said, we had some unique formational stuff. So I think there's some different empty things they might have seen. That got him a little confused. It wasn't anything earth-shattering, like, oh my gosh. Just made a little wrinkle, a little thing here and there they did, which was a good little change up, but nothing like, oh my gosh.
I
think it's-
go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's one touchdown in the second half of the last 3 games combined.
Oh yeah.
What's led finding the end zone? What's made that such
I don't know.
a consistent
You got
challenge?
any ideas?
Not paid for that.
No, and I was thinking about that going, when I was saying back to Missouri, go back to the beginning, like, okay, we did this, scored a couple times against Missouri, and those like we did. All of a sudden, Central Florida weather we got stuck. Central Florida is a little different beast because you got stuck inside the 1 yard line twice, so it wasn't as. And you're trying to get that. The Texas Tech can say, okay, we got stuck in 3rd and 1 twice. We got stuck with play action. Like, okay, I was more frustrated. I've been more frustrated, believe it or not, frustrated with the 3rd quarter not getting that touchdown we need to tie it up or get the lead. But the other thing I'm disappointed with is then the 4th quarter, how we're doing nothing, legitimately. Meaning even if you get behind, we'll get a first hour or 2, and then we'll kind of sputter out. So that's why I've been working a lot and going, why? Not to get behind, but what we got to do to get back, because we're still in games. We got to get enough. Our defense has played well enough in those moments, and our offense has enough firepower So that's the frustrating part for me, is trying to go back and go, okay, what am I calling or doing that's not helping us get that fourth quarter better? And that's the thing I'm most frustrated, because even if you get behind, you still got a chance to get a touchdown and make it a 10 or 11 point game. Instead where it's like, and obviously getting behind the sticks has hurt. It really has. Even when I was going back to it's funny you said that, because I was going back to Central Florida game, and the first play of somewhere in that end of the third quarter, early fourth, we get a first down, got momentum to run the ball well, and all of a sudden we jumped offside or something, we went first and 15. And after that, then we end up with 2, don't get it. So sometimes that penalty, like this game, okay, hey, guys, we're okay. And all of a sudden we drop a snap and end up in whatever land, just the uncomfortableness of that. So that's why I think it's been most is, I look at it more as, I'm always taking on me, because I'm like, well, I need to call things, I need to do a better job, but then I'm like going, we're self-induced issues. You know, not something like, oh my God, they brought a new 8-man pressure. You know, but it is like, what is happening? Are we trying to, what is going on there? So I think, take a deep breath, let's go one play at a time, let's go back to basics, refocus, let's get the first down. Let's do that. I think we'll be fine.
Jim, what have you seen from Oklahoma State defensively?
You know, really, their defense, since Clint's taken over, a little more man coverage stuff and pressure package. They play hard, and they're good up front. Like they can run it. They got good body types to play a lot of people. He's done a good job rotating, and he's playing a little more like Texas Tech. They play a lot of man, but he's done a good job with his pressure packages. I think they've been on the field a lot, but they've done a really good job. You look back and really break the game down. They've done a good job defensively. They give a couple points here and there, but overall, like there's some people that make some plays to get them. So I think he's got them playing really well. I really do.
Coach, when you look back at the Kansas State game, anything stand out? Adjustments you need to make?
No, I thought there's always adjustments you got to make week to week with the opponent that you play. I thought we did a good job against the run, with the exception of the last run that got out of there. Third down, I thought we did some good things there, getting off the field. We just got to do a better job with the pass game, especially with just the deep balls. We got to do a better job defending those as you putting those guys in better positions maybe, and then when it's their time, they got to shine and they got to guard, and we got to continue to coach it in a better fashion to get those guys perform and get those balls down or intercept them or make them not be completions and explosive plays.
Yeah, looking forward to this week. What do you do with Flores? Do you have to go back and look at previous film to figure out what they might do?
Yeah, you got to dig deep in the archives. You got to do a little bit of everything, in games like this, just because it's kind of feels like one of those first game type of things, just because every week they're reinventing themselves, and they're doing a good job with that. They're being really creative. They're doing a lot of creative things, but it's different every game. And so you got to do a good job just having a base game plan and then be able to adjust from there from what you see, from these guys. So they're really creative on what they're doing on offense. Like I said, it's different every game, different personnel, different things they're doing. Some games they're in 12, some games they're in 11, some games 18's the quarterback, some games it's 12, some games it's 6. So it's a lot of different things that we just got to be ready for and adjust on the fly.
How has calling things on the field gone for you so far this season? And when you have a couple of lackluster performances, do you think about moving back up to the box?
No, I don't think where you call it really makes a difference. You just gotta execute better in what we're doing there.
How much weight can you put on any of Oklahoma State's film from before they gave play calling to the quarterback's coach?
A little bit, because they're still doing some of the things that before they switched play callers. So there's some things there. Within the season, there's not a whole bunch of things that you can change through a season, but there's just different thoughts and different philosophies on calling plays. And you can definitely see that shining through as you continue to look at the games.
You guys asked defensive ends to do a lot, and the defense, Dean Miller made a play in coverage against K-State. What can you do to maybe get more sort of oomph in the pass rush from those guys at this point?
We bring them quite a bit. If you look, they rush probably more than they drop during the game. So, that's just something they do. And, Dean got the athletic ability to play in space. He necessarily doesn't have the weight that you want to be able to play down there and defend the run all the time. So it's good to kind of put him in space and help him there. Leroy is also a big athletic guy who leads us in sacks. So I guess he's getting a lot of oomph out there too. So I think we're getting it. We're getting it from a lot of different people, and that's what we want from the defense. So people can't keep it just on one guy.
Lance has said it, you've said it, execution, always a thing, right? When you're looking for why things didn't get executed, what are you looking for? And then are you seeing anything pattern-wise that's maybe keeping that from being executed on a consistent basis?
Yeah, the first thing you always want to look at is just how it's being taught and what we're emphasizing.
Sure.
You know, and I think that's the biggest thing because it starts with coaching, and you know, we got to do a better job with that. If something's not getting done, you know, that we want to get done, and then after that, it's continue just to boil things down and you know, just kind of put people in the right position, ask the right questions to get them to understand why it's not getting done the way you might like to get it done. And then sometimes it's just a matter too of when you're there, man, you got to make that play. And some things, that's why they call them 50-50 balls sometimes, or you know, 50-50 tackles. You got to be on the good side of that to be able to make those too. So it's a combination of everything. We just got to get better at the things we can control, which is the coaching, the preparation, the planning, and then getting out there on the practice field and doing the right things that we emphasize to get stuff done that we know we need to get done to win games.
It looked like Mason was at safety most of the game in his return. I guess, do you foresee him staying there or moving back down to nickel?
It just kind of depends on what we need. J. Todd's doing a good job there at nickel for us there, you know, because we're still a little, you know, guys are playing, but they're a little banged up at safety, so we just kind of need that depth and guys to play there. And plus Mason's speed, able to cover ground, we thought would be a good thing for him to be able to play back on the back end and kind of just working back into it like he was, because he's been out multiple weeks, so we thought that'd be the easiest spot for him to work himself back into playing time where we needed him.
You mentioned Jalen as someone who's had a good year. Who else maybe is in that group of guys you've really relied upon? And then are there any players that you're like, you would want them to maybe elevate to that group?
I think quite a few guys. Just kind of depends on game to game. You know, different guys have stepped up. You know, Blake Harrell, you know, is doing a great job for us up front. Kenean Caldwell is doing a heck of a job, you know, up front. I think he had a tackle for loss. You know, in the game, doing a good job. We mentioned Leroy, we mentioned Fink. I think a lot of guys, you know, in spots are doing a really good job. You know, we just got to consistently just put it together and just have a good one there. Even on the back end, I think those guys have had a good year. It just was one of those games where they probably didn't play up to their potential. And we got to get them to bounce back this week and all focus on Oklahoma State getting this victory for these seniors.
I know every opponent is different, but how challenging is it when like the things that you're struggling with on defense seem to be different from one game to the next?
I think that's just the way football is. You know, I think it's that way that sometimes, you know, if you're not fitting to run great, the next game you might fit it great like we did this game, and then some balls go over your head. You know, then we have games where nothing really affected us. So it just kind of, you got to kind of adjust on the fly, kind of get it done, and then you got to make sure you're trying to do a good job week to week of making sure you don't have those, you know, mishaps and different things like that. And that's our job to continue to get that done. And this week, that's our plan to kind of get those done and get on the W side.
How much of an emphasis was the gap discipline stuff heading into the last game? And I guess how well do you think that's sticking with guys now?
It did a good job. Like I said, I thought we did a good job against the run, with the exception of that last run that got out. I thought we did a really good job there. You know, I don't think the quarterback really ran on us a whole bunch, so we did a good job with that. So it did a good job. I mean, we achieved what we emphasized there, and like I said, we just got to do a better job contesting on some of those passes with our young DBs.
What kind of year has Lyrik Rawls had for you guys?
Having a good year. He's a really good leader. Glad we got him. I know this is a special game coming up for him in particular, so I look forward to seeing how he performs this year, but he's doing a good job. Really proud of him.
You guys got the field goal to crawl a little closer and then first play over the top. Austin, confident kid, bounce back type of mentality. What do you see from a kid when that happens? Obviously, he's not the only player out there, but he's kind of highlighted in that moment.
Yeah, you know, you just you go and pick him up and tell him next play. I mean, that's the part of being a corner. You know, when I coach NFL, this guy's making $15 million a year who still get beat. You know, and you got to bounce back. You got to play the next play. You got to be ready to go. Got to get your eyes right. You got to take the information from the play and why it went wrong, but you can't take the result with you. And that's what we told him there. And it's just an opportunity to bounce back. And he knows he got to have a great week of practice this week. And he knows he's going to have a bullseye on his back. And he's going to have to be able to defend the first couple of passes that Oklahoma State throws his way. And I think he's going to be ready for it. I'm excited to see.
How did you see him respond in that moment?
I thought he responded well.
Yeah.
He got up and kept challenging. I think guys that who get beat initially, you know, they played off and soft, and you know, but he tried to get up there and still continue to challenge and different things like that. And you know, that's what you want from a young guy, you know, who kind of took really of the season his first lumps.
Right.
You know, as a redshirt freshman, that was really the first time he really has hit adversity this season. You know, so you were really interested to see how he responds, because up to this point, everything was going, pretty well for him in coverage. And so, that's not the game you really want to see it, but that's where he faced his adversity. It was good to see him bounce back, and it's good to see him this week and today at practice, go out and have a spirited practice.
Did you know he would? I mean, a young guy like that, did you know, okay, we can pick him up, he's got that in him, or did you have to see it to know it?
I think one of those things with everybody, you got to see it to know it. You think you do, but, you can't simulate those things in practice. You can't simulate that adversity, like that in practice all the time. So it's good to kind of see, what he's made of, what type of grit he has, to be able to bounce back on that stage. And like I said, things didn't go his way. He got attacked, but it was good to see him kind of bounce back and have the proper attitude in it too, that he wasn't pouting or anything like that, or trying to hide or try to deflect. It was none of that. He took responsibility and got back on the horse and tried to ride.
There were times in previous weeks where you had like 3 safeties and a cornerback, some on the availability report. How much better is it to have someone closer to a full complement of guys now as you head into this final stretch?
Yeah, it really helps. It helps because, as always, for all of us, we want to play away. And so, that's what you worry about more than anything. If somebody went down, what's kind of the next plan for you? But now it's good to have depth, like you said, to have Mason be able to go. To have D-Dye back was really good for us, because I thought he's been having a heck of a season. So to have him out really hurt us, because he's a good player for us. So that's been good. And then, get Saeed, get some depth back at corner too, ready to go. And plus that creates competition, which you always want also. You don't want guys relaxing and thinking they got something. You want guys behind them pushing them.
You talked last week about some of the young guys maybe starting to make a push to get some time on special teams. Can you talk about that path a little bit, where, it's sort of practice to special teams, you do some good things on special teams, maybe you find some reps on defense?
Yeah, that's always the path really for a lot of guys is, they start in practice and get a couple oohs and ahs in practice, and then the special teams coach says, hey, let's throw him down on kickoff or punt return or something like that, and they start to make some plays. And all the while, you're continuing to rep them on defense. And we do special things at the end of practice, too, to continue to keep those guys involved in what the defensive game plan is. And then you got to get to a point where you just throw them in and just let them go to work. And so we got some guys who are close to that point, which is fun. I'm looking forward to see them play.
This week of practice, vibes, how everything's going?
We knew that we had things to clean up to get this show on the road. So we got here, got the film corrected. Pointed to all the things that we needed to correct is to get the week started for the next opponent.
What's DK been like so far these past couple days?
I feel like he been maintaining his same energy that he brings every week. Make sure that he got a game plan for us, and he still continue to do his job.
How many guys do you know over on the roster still for Oklahoma State?
I know like a good handful of guys that's still over there, so it'll be good to get to see some of them guys.
Yeah.
How much have you thought about this game just over the course of the season? Because you knew obviously it was coming at some point.
I already knew I wanted to be playing them again, but I just look at it as another game to go out there on Saturday.
Did you have a lot of guys reach out and trash talk at all this week?
Not at all. I actually haven't heard from nobody, and I probably won't till the game over with. So just keep it cordial.
They had obviously the coaching change. Just being there for the time that you were you surprised to see that? Did you have any reaction to that coaching change over there at OSU?
I probably kind of felt pretty bad because I know he had a good run there. He changed a lot of men's life there. He got me there, so got me in college football. So I feel like I'm thankful for the journey that he was a part of mine.
I'm curious, their quarterback that started the year could be back. Have you guys gone back and watched him and see what the offense, does it change with him? Or?
We've been we'll watch every game that they play, to pick up what their favorite formations, what their favorite plays. So when you watch all of the games, you will see what all you need to see really.
How do you think, I guess, your defense as a whole has evolved over the course of this year? Have you guys grown? It seems like you've gone through a lot in the course of the season so far.
Yeah, I say definitely with the ups and downs of the season, you definitely find character. You find who's have these strengths and who have these weaknesses, and you try to put everything in the right place to go out there and get the win.
It's like having, I guess, all your guys back in the safety room now, because there was a time where at least 3 of you guys were hurt for a little bit.
Well, it basically makes practice better, You ain't got to just be out there all day by yourself. You actually get some reps off, get some guys rotating in.
you've got young guys at the cornerback spots in a game like against K-State where they hit a couple deep passes. Do you talk to them at all? Do you say try to get them back in the game after giving up some plays like that?
Yes, sir. Playing DB at this point, at this level, you got to have a short mindset. Somebody make a play on you, you got to be ready to go out there the next play to make another play for yourself.
Kobe, what's the response been in practice this week to the defeat last week?
Just going back to basics, being who we are. Coach Ekbalsa really emphasized for us, just as an O-line, playing cohesiveness, football, communication, and just getting back to what we do. It's just we want to run the ball and we want to, be physical about it. So going back to basics.
Something Coach Leipold talked about yesterday, and I'm sure Coach Ekbalsa mentioned it too, is some of the stunts and stuff and communication. How do you go about working on that in practice?
Just repping it out, getting more fluidity. I think that's a thing we really kind of hammered on from that game, is just working communication. We can be who we are if we all communicate and be on the same level. So.
Is there an added challenge to the communication level when you have a guy like Enrique playing on the right side and then the left side and guys kind of moving around and everything?
It can be. I think it's really good for offensive line to kind of play with different parts and kind of we have different people coming in. So just knowing that we're going to get, a different look that we haven't worked on. So just us, I'm talking about if one person comes in and they run a look that we haven't seen before, we're communicating, we're getting on the same level now. So just hammering out the issues.
What stands out about Oklahoma State to you?
They're a really good front. They play really physical. They really do a good job of setting the tone. I think their coach has them really fired up to play each week. So we're looking forward to them.
When you look at what they're doing under the new defensive coordinator, what exactly are they kind of doing that's different? Where I think they're allowing over 100 fewer rushing yards a game, something like that.
Yeah, I think their front, like I said, their front's really good. I think their coach kind of has them really amped up to play each week, and I think that we're really looking forward to the challenge of going against them. So,
how do you guys feel like
Does that
you've
surprise
done?
you at all? Well, that a team's amped up like that after having to go through a coaching change.
Well, I can attest to the coaching change part, but when we were 1-5 last year, I think we played that same mentality. Every game, we're gonna go out here and 0-0. The records don't matter. We're going out here and play ball. So, I think us having that same mentality kind of last year, I can see the way they play, each game.
How do you feel like the run game has come along for you guys, just as a unit?
I think it's been good. I think it's been, I think that we're kind of we're finding our groove again. And so I think that continuing what we, this past week, Tell the Truth Monday, is just playing back to basics and kind of being who we are. And so what we've been doing the past in here is just getting back to run the ball.
Does Deuce look better to you than maybe ever?
I think, Deuce, Deuce is Deuce. I think for me, I see him every day in practice. So I know what type of player he is. He's a physical player. He's gifted. He runs the ball he runs the ball pissed off. And I think as an offensive lineman, you love that because it's it makes you just want to keep springing it, just keep chipping away, so.
What did you see on that touchdown that he got the other day?
I mean, he is determined. That's one thing about Deuce, and he will find any way he can to get in the end zone, and he will put it all on the line for the school and for the team. So
when he's out, is that noticeable? I mean, that's an element that not everybody has. It's kind of between the ears type of thing.
Yeah, I think LaShawn has done a great job, and Harry and Johnny Thompson and all the running backs have done a really good job. And I think that Deuce kind of adds just his own style to it, and LaShawn has his own style as well. But I think they're really good backs, and so just having a good room like that and playing with a room like that is really exciting.
How has Amir grown? Because it seems like some of his best games have been here recently.
Yeah, I think Amir's starting to find his groove as a player, and I like to see it because I remember him last year coming in, and so just seeing his journey, kind of where he's coming now, it kind of makes makes me happy. I'm really loving what he's doing, and I wish the best for. He knows he has everything in front of him, so he's gonna continue soaring. So it's gonna be great.
Kobe, you guys have been in this position before, chasing down a couple of wins later in the season to become bowl eligible. Anything you learned in the past in those situations that will help you in the next 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah, it's the same. We have every week. We don't change who we are. We don't change the operation. No matter how the game goes, win or lose, we're gonna continue doing what we do. And I think having a steady process like that and continuing it throughout each week and continuing no matter who we play, we're going to do what we do, our fundamentals, and, just all of us playing together and playing free. I think that really just allows it, and this program really allows us to do that. So the coaches really have a good mindset with us.
Would you assess how the season's gone for you overall at this point?
For me, it's going pretty well statistically. I've been working every day just to perfect my craft and do my job, but it's going pretty well for me statistically. Obviously, we had a couple back-to-back losses, but we're going to bounce back and continue to elevate.
So like being in a room where you guys all have your own distinct skill sets, and it seems like they're finding ways to put a bunch of you on the field at once.
It's cool, man. We been with you guys for a long time and working together, just building off each other's craft, and we know our strengths and weaknesses, and just do our job.
Heading into this season, that D-tackle room was really looked at as the kind of the veteran group of guys. How much pride do you take in kind of being the oldest guys, the most experienced guys in that room?
We take a lot of pride in that. This, this is me, Gage, and Tommy, and DJ last year, so we take a lot of pride in that. And we said at the beginning of the year, like, we're gonna be the engine of this defense. We're gonna set the tone for this defense, and that's our mission.
With it being your last year, you only got 4 guaranteed games left. How much of a sense of urgency does that instill in you guys heading into these last few?
Yeah, it's still a lot of urgency. It's like 4 games left, guaranteed, and it's like I told the boys today I only got 4 left, and I just want to make it fun and just went out with y'all because it'll be nothing special. It'll be nothing better than that. It'll be very special.
What do you see from Oklahoma State, their offense?
They got a nice offense. They like to move the ball, run the ball a lot. They use multiple quarterbacks, but we just gonna stick to the game plan, stop the run, and then make it one-dimensional and go forward from there.
Have you guys talked about how their starting quarterback has been hurt, but he's expected to return? Have you guys talked about what he does differently?
Yes, they use one who's a better passer, and they have another quarterback who's very athletic. So we just game plan for both, and they pretty good quarterbacks, so we'll just be ready for both of them.
We know you're recruited here to play the nose tackle spot, and then you changed to play more of the 4-man front. Now you're back playing a lot of nose.
Mm-hmm.
What's that been like, getting back to some of the stuff you did years ago, and you've obviously had some success with it too?
Oh, it's fun. It's like shows my athletic ability that I can do stuff that I'm comfortable with, and I can do stuff that I haven't done before. So it just shows how prideful I am to learning new positions, new ways, new techniques to help my defense out.
What's the mood been around the defense in practice this week?
It's been pretty good. Just bounce back and just bring joy and elevate.
Is it easy to do that after a game like Saturday or back-to-back games?
That game behind us. That's behind us. We move forward. Bring the joy.
Hey, Daniel, you broke a lot of tackles. Just what were you feeling going into that game?
Just confidence, and I think every game I'm getting more and more confidence. Just feeling like myself more, and just realizing a lot more things I need to do better and fixing those things, and just keep myself confident, even level, just having fun out there, really.
It looks like you're running maybe a little more explosive, a little faster even. Are you feeling that way?
Yeah, and just keep working on my health. I think that's just the big thing, is making sure I keep my weight down. Like, I'm still dropping weight now, and so just dropping the weight and just staying healthy and everything, that's really just been helping me. And just good mindset, too.
How tough was it to have another injury disrupt your season, and how did you kind of work through that?
I mean, it's very tough. That's something I did not want to happen this year at all, and never, actually. But, it was tough. But my teammates was always there with me, and just my running backs was there with me, and just seeing them run hard and, not settling down and practice and everything, I think that just really motivated me to when I wanted to come back. So it was tough, but it was better than any other time.
I think Coach Leipold said you've gotten better at managing your emotions associated with going through hard things like that.
Yeah.
What's gone into that for you?
Just growing up, and also just realizing, you can't control what happens in life. The only thing you can control is your response. And that's something we always talk about up here. And, just realizing that stuff and just actually putting that to action, not just 1 day or 2 days, every single day.
Were you worried that you might be done at any point?
When I first got hurt, I mean, I was just like, man, like, what is going on? You know, I didn't really understand it at first, and it was a little thing, then it turned into a bigger thing, kind of, but it wasn't actually that big. It was just like something like minor but seemed big at the time. And so I just kept my trust in the doctors and kept going because they told me I wasn't going to be done playing. So when they told me that, I was like, all right, I'm just waiting to come back.
When you went into that West Virginia game, did you think you were going to be able to get through that whole game? I know you ended up only getting a couple carries and then having to sit out the rest of it.
Kinda, I did, but I had a thought. The way the injury was, it was better for me to go out there and get it completely, like, just gone, what the injury was. And so, like, it was like a minor setback, but then it just helped me a lot more. And I feel like I feel looser now, so, yeah.
Hey, Daniel, do you know any of the guys on the Oklahoma State team?
I won't say I don't know them at all, because I've looked at their roster and everything, and I've seen names and seen a lot of football names throughout the time. So, like, if I seen their face or something and all that and, like, maybe talk to them, I probably, like, remember and all that. But, it's a lot of dudes out here. So, I don't say I don't know anybody out there, but,
I just figured being from Oklahoma, you might know some of those guys.
Yeah, they do got a lot of dudes from Oklahoma on their roster, though. So, I'm pretty sure I'm going to run into somebody and talk to them and everything.
Did Oklahoma State recruit you at all? Did you go to any camps there or anything like that?
I went to a camp. It was a good camp and everything, but Kansas recruited me, and that's what I needed. So,
what's it like knowing you only got 4 guaranteed games left and you got to make the most of them?
Just having fun, just going out there and playing football. I'm not really stressed about that, honestly. Like, just playing football. That's really the thing about it. When you're stressing about playing football, you're going to do too much and you're not going to make the right reads and all that. So when you just playing football, having fun, everything take care of itself.
What about your journey? Can you kind of pass down to some of the younger running backs? Because I know you've said that you like some of the younger guys in that room.
Yeah, I love everybody in our room. Just to pass down to them, just make sure you keep your head up, stay forward, and it's going to be setbacks. We running backs, every time somebody's going to get hurt in a year. It's never not been a year where I didn't know a running back didn't get some type of injury, whether it's season ending or half a season, a few games. Keep your head up, man, and just make sure you're with your teammates.
What have you seen from Hishaw over the course of this year so far?
I think one of the biggest things is like he's just really bringing in like a lot of his character out and becoming real open and just being a cool guy. Like LaShawn's really cool. It's cool to be around and all that, and just seeing his confidence more on the field, just getting better. Even though he might have some setback from the last game, whatever, but I see it in practice and everything else every day.
Hey, Daniel, what's Jalen like after a rough game like that and now trying to bounce back? What do you see from him?
Leadership. Good leadership. Really, I don't really see like too much of a different JD, because we've had times when we first got here and we was losing. I think having those times and going through that, like he's being able to like, all right, I know what we got to do. I know I've been through this and everything, and putting my head down is not going to be the best decision. So really, he just stays JD and keeps pushing. He don't set back. He don't put his head down too long or anything like that.
Any difference in preparation after a loss like that on Saturday? Anything you might push a little harder now?
I wouldn't say there's a difference in how we got anything set up. Practice is the same. Everything is the same. It's as far as how we attack it. We have to focus more on the details, small details, and some of the big details, and just making sure we're focusing on all those and doing it right every time. And if we don't, go back and do it right.